Hello, Warhammer lovers. This is Lizard Lover here, and this episode of Warhammer Stuff, I am going to be painting a Empire Huntsman, and I'm going to show everybody, or people who want to know, how to paint an Empire Huntsman. You know, easy, for beginners. Nothing too extravagant, but so that it looks nice. Now, to paint the Empire Huntsman, you will need Runefane. I dropped it. Khemri Brown, Evil Sun's Scarlet. Now, this is just for me. You can paint it different colors. Kislev Flesh, Gorthor Brown, Rhinox Hide. Just a second, I dropped the... Sorry about that. Runefane Steel. You'll need a paintbrush, a cup of water. That would be helpful. A pastel, something to put your paint on, something to dry your brush with. And there's one other thing that you need. It's here somewhere. I forgot to get it out. It is... You might want to skip the video a little bit while I look for it. It's not that. Not that. It is not that. Well, you will need an ink. Let's see. Over here somewhere. Brown ink would be acceptable. You can... Here, I'll set the tripod up and you can look at the wonderful stuff my dad is painting. While I look for it. So the video will not have been stopped. Is Raygun flesh shaded ink? I may add new paints as it goes. Maybe. If the no oil, no. I wonder how you pause the video. Anyway. Yeah, no, there's no oil, Raygun Flight. Where is the brown ink? Just admire those wonderful dwarves while I look for this. It might take a while. Let's look at, I'm gonna look at Raygun Flesh Shade and see if that would work. No. I don't want to stop the video because then I'll have to use video editor and it'll be a lot more complicated than just pressing the upload button and naming it. I've used Null Oil. It's not what I'm looking for. Oh, come on. I like using these for inks. I'm going into the future fighting. Those are old types. I doubt they still sell them. They just have more variety with these. Oh, Mornfane Brown. I don't think I have that. Yeah, you might need Mornfane Brown. Okay, I'll just use Nuln Oil, because it's... Okay, so you'll need Nuln Oil, too. Nuln Oil. Okay, so we are painting that. And I'm going to see if I can set this up so that you can see what I'm doing. Okay. And we will be... I want to put this where I can see it. It's hard because this is at the edge, and all of this is... Here, if I move my paints off to the side and put that like that, I still won't be able to do it. Yeah, I guess I'll just have to do it like this again. Okay. I'll just... Sorry if this is a bad introduction. Okay, so, you want to start off doing the base colors. How I paint, I don't paint like the entire model one color. Can you still see? Yeah, I don't paint the entire model one color. I just do base colors. So like I'll paint like just the sword one color instead of the entire model that color. But first I'm going to paint his bow, this wonderful Warhammer brown. So I'll open it, and I have to mix it. Where's the mixing stuff? I'll put it on my little plate thing. It's over here. Can you still see? Yep. On my little plate, and I'll get out the mixing brush. This used to be a nice brush. It's not anymore. Just for mixing. Mix it up. You might want to drip some water in it. Depends on how you like it, and then you just put it down where you can access it. And then once you're done using a brush, you rinse it in the water and dry it off on your wonderful paper towel or rag or something, and then done. Okay, so take your nice brush, you put it in the Warhammer brown. Make sure to keep the cases shut when you're not using them. And I'm just going to paint his bow that color. Da 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 da. So sorry if the definition is not perfect. So you just need to paint, like, just not the arrow, just the bow. If the definition isn't great, then just hear what I'm saying. It's not that important just to watch me paint, unless you like that kind of thing. This definition, oh, I'm not on it anymore. Okay, I'm gonna have to paint over here. So, paint the bow. If I'm ever not on the screen, sorry about that. It's where I can display where I'm painting. I kind of like this Warhammer brown. It's a nice brown in my opinion. It's apparently the brown of a Warhammer, although people never paint Warhammer this color. Not that I've seen. Okay. Now once you've got the bow, this wonderful, oh, I dipped my finger in the paint. This wonderful color, you want to proceed and I know I said don't color the arrow, just don't color the tip, I mean. Now color the arrow, its tip and feathers don't color like this. The shaft you want to color like this. This will probably be, for beginning painters, the most hard endeavor. And after this, I am going to then probably make a video on, yeah, I'm still on after this for more experienced painters. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. I don't know why my voice just sounds strange on video cameras.
You better get ready, Andrew. I don't think it's that much longer. I was not really sure.
Oh, I have a soccer game later, and so it looks like I'm gonna have to use video editor anyway. So you want to get this nice and you know, not too awful. Now you don't need to use a lot of paint, so don't buy like 5 paint containers. You won't need to use 5, even if you're painting an entire army. Okay. Now that you've painted those two like that, I'm going to proceed and when you're painting the guys, you notice my guy's white. They come in a gray plastic. You're going to have to use something called primer. It's a kind of a spray thing that you can buy at a place. I don't know where you buy it. So you're going to need to spray it with a primer. Now I'm going to paint his sword case, itself a different color. So now I'm going to paint his shoes. I'm going to just his little feet. I'm going to paint his feet this nice, wonderful brown. It's a wonderful brown. Now I'm just doing one model. You can paint them in like a like mass producing them if you have an army. Mass producing is you just paint one color on one and then you just go to the next, and you do it like that. And it's quick because then you can paint an entire army. I'm also going so paint his shoes. It doesn't matter if you get a little up of the shoes because you're going to paint right over that. And the next color. Now this video is probably going to take a while as I'll have to paint. These things don't usually take like 7 hours if you don't count drying, because these things will need to dry. Sorry for those of you who hate waiting. Okay, now I'm going to clean off my brush. You know, rinse it in water and then gently dry it on this. Pull it like this. That way, the bristles don't like shove it. That's bad. Okay. Now for the next color I am going to do the Runefane Steel. Open it up. Get my special paintbrush, and you always want to mix it every single time. Always mix your paint. Just swirl it around like a toilet and get off the excess, and then just find an open spot and put it in. Sorry if at any time you hear background noises. This is what happens when you don't clean a paintbrush. It used to be a wonderful paintbrush. Now it's paint. Okay, once you get your nice clean paintbrush, never do two colors. You always have to clean them in between colors. This color, it will not take that long, so you won't not need much of it. Just get a little of this nice, wonderful Runefane Steel. And first color the tip of the arrow. Nice little tip. Now, of course, you want to go to more, if you want to paint a, Lord or Hero, you might want to paint it a little better. After this color, I'm going to pause the video because I have a soccer game. Now you want to go to the sword and color the very tip of the sword case, this little area. There are little studs on the sword case. I'm going to leave those studs for the more advanced painting video because they're difficult to get just right. And then you want to color the hilt. This is the legitimate, probably hardest part you will do. Coloring the hilt. It's okay if you get it a little over. Just be very careful and make sure you always have paint on your brush. I've painted many models. I used to be very, very bad at painting, and then my dad said, oh, just paint it this way. Paint it how you like that, and then just do this one little thing that I'm going to show you at the end. And, yeah, it makes a normal model, you know, a model that doesn't look all that splendid, look really nice. Sorry if that was off. And then, you want to paint the very tip of this. Very tip of this, sword. There. Some of the model might not be fully primed. That's alright. And now you just inspect the model, see if there's anything else. If you want, you can paint those little studs. And yeah, I think I am all done with this color. So I am going to wash off my paintbrush. Dry it. And I'm going to pause the video. See you when I get back. Okay, guys, I am back. I won my game by so much that the ref stopped taking the goals. I think I fixed the camera so that you can see my entire workspace. Yep. So yes, and I'm going to continue. So, the next thing you'll want to do is take your nice Rhinox hide. You can see it's a base color, and put it on his pant legs. Not the little skirt thing he has, because, oh wait, not the skirt thing, his pant legs. Why'd I just close it? Okay, sometimes I get like that. So I'll just have to find my brush, yep. Get a little of this Rhinox hide. Get off the extras, because I'm not going to need that much. And just dab it in here. Oh, I thought I was mixing it with, I thought the paint in there was still there, but nope. Get it all off. Wash it. And dry.
Sup, Chief?
Sup. I am doing a how-to video. Make sure to always close your paint cups.
Yeah, that's always a good
use.
idea.
Yep.
So your paint doesn't dry out.
Do you have any tips?
Yep, use the tip of the brush.
Yeah, that's his tip of the day. Okay, so I don't get it. I don't get it.
I'm going off.
And you're going to want to color his pant legs. If this is blurry and you cannot see fine, I sincerely apologize. I hope my voice is sufficient. And please keep the dislikes under 70. It was 10 before, but I'm trying to aim higher. Okay, so make sure to color the pant legs nicely. By now, my other paint is dry. I do not know for you. It would, if you put it on nice and thin layer, that's good. Yeah, you don't need a lot of paint on your brush, but you need enough to keep it painting. Here's a tip. Do not overpaint. Don't put like an extreme amount of paint down. You do not need to. Okay. Now this is the tricky part because you have to get at a part that's hard for your brush to reach. I'm using a kind of finer tip brush. It's a special brush. You will not be able to find them at an average art store. That's like, you're not likely to find them, I should say. Maybe at the end of the video I'll get some more information on where to find these. I just used my dad's equipment. And we'll just continue to paint his pants. And here's another reason. I'll tell you another very, very important reason why you do not put a thick layer on. You want to put, and because, well, one reason I could tell you now. I want to keep the suspense so that you don't quit the video just because you think you know what to do. One very important reason is you will lose the shape of the model. Shape of the model is very important for helping it look nicely. I shall tell you why later in the video. If you're impatient, you're probably just going to skip to the end of the video, aren't you? To see the reasoning and then come back here. Okay. So, now that we've got the pants painted, so it's like that, it shouldn't look amazingly awesome right now, so don't just quit because it doesn't look nice. Don't think you're not good because it doesn't look nice, because it's not supposed to look nice at this stage. You're supposed to get the base colors down. Not supposed to make it look nice. You get my drift? Now you want to color the part of the sword that you hold. This part will be difficult because there is all this metal stuff you painted. You might actually want to paint this part first and then the metal stuff. I just like doing it in my weird order. So yeah, if you don't like doing it the order I do, I recommend watching the entire video and then picking the order that you like. Oh gosh, I hope this video gets some views because, like, my first video that I've posted, which I don't think myself is my best. No, my best are still up. Came up later. Yeah, I think that one is, I don't know, it has the most views and stuff. And even though the average watch length is 40 seconds and it's like a 4-minute long video, I still recommend you watch it. It's interesting. If the graphics aren't that good, they've increased throughout the videos. Okay, so now we are going to paint his face and hands. This is when you use your Kislev flesh. Some of these can be difficult to open. Keep out of reach of small children. Let's see if this Kislev flesh is still usable. It might not be. It's kind of old. Yeah, it's very watery. Oh gosh. I didn't check it before the video started. Very, very watery. Oh darn. Well, I will not be able to use this Kislev flesh. Just imagine that I'm using Kislev flesh, okay? I gotta tell my dad that that one is way too watery. I think it's just getting old. That's what happens when paints get old. They start to shrivel up no matter what precautions you take, so I have to find a new color. Oh joy. I'll use Talon flesh instead. How convenient. Don't know about this one either. Mix it up. Oh, darn it. What is wrong with these?
I thought I did. I said, you want a sandwich?
Well, I'm gonna mix it up real well. Great. I think this one's not working either. What? Oh. I saw washes and I'm like, what? Mixing up your paint. That won't work. Okay, it's working now. I mixed it up enough. Okay. Get it in your nice little thing. Sometimes the paint will get... Oh, I put way too much in. Oh, darn it. I wasn't paying attention. Open it back up. Take the paint. Try to get it back in. Take the paint. Try to put some back in. You never want to put... Don't ever put too much paint down. A good strategy is to put a little paint down, and then if you need more, get more. Because if you put... There's a very viable reason. If you put too much paint down, and you don't use all of it, wasted paint. These things are actually quite deep. But too much paint has been put over it slowly. There's always too much paint on because you can never get the correct amount. It dries. The bottom layer dries, and you can never get all the paint. Anyway, you want to color his hands and face nicely. But, I mean, over the years, that thing's old. We've taken good precautions, and these used to be really deep. That deep. Now they're like that. They're not very deep at all. And that's over the years of great precaution. Imagine what would happen to you if it wasn't right and you put too much in every single time. It builds up. You may think you're not using a lot, but then all of a sudden you're all done. You're gone with your paint. All gone. Now this part is very important that you do not put too much paint on because the fingers are very fragile. And you know, it's easy to get too much paint on. And this part to the beginners might be difficult. If it's not difficult, good for you. It might be difficult because of the different sides of the hand. Like different sides of the fingers. I've done this a couple times before, so... I mean, I've painted a lot before, but I've done fingers like this a couple times. It's important to try to have a steady hand. The steadier your hand, the easier it will be to paint. Although some of the world's greatest painters have not steady hands, if you know what I mean. Cough, cough. Well, it's okay to get a little on the sides. It won't really affect it negatively, really. You may have a little gap on your hand on the bottom if you did not get the paint inside of the thing inside the hand. If you didn't, just get it there now. If you get paint on your thing, just try to gently wipe it off. And if it doesn't come off, obviously repaint that area so that it will be fine. Now you want to paint his face. Some people can get like the eyes and stuff. I don't do eyes. Not usually. I just paint the face. Just one color. And there's other techniques to make everything look nice. Now a hard part will be probably getting the neck on the back. You have to fit your brush in and then get it. So this part doesn't matter how messy you are, because you're just painting over everything that you would messify soon. Okay. And you want to try to keep the paint as even as possible. You know, don't let it be too bumpy. If the paint is old, it'll get more bumpy. And paint the underside of the chin to make sure. Always want to paint as much as you can of these surfaces. Never leave stuff empty, because people might examine it and go, hey, this part isn't painted. Then you go, well, you see, my brother, he had a cousin, which was my cousin, of course, who had a dog, and the dog had a cat that ate it. Yeah. And then everybody will think you're weird. Okay, so now we're going to go on to his clothes. At which point I'm going to pick a color. I just pick colors that I think I would need for this, and then I just see where it goes. I'm going to color his clothes Gorthor brown. It looks like. Oh. Okay, so I find my brush of mixing. You might have to use the some people take the bottom of their brushes and use that, but you have to quickly clean the brush very well indeed, because if you do not, I hope this thing is playing, because if you do not color it, clean it very well, then your brush is painted on the bottom. No one likes that, except for paintbrush model minions. Oh. See, that's an example of what not to do. You want to close it and place it back, because it might fall over and leak everywhere, especially if it's a certain type of thing. Now, where did I put it? Over here, okay. Clean my brush. You make sure you always want to get all the paint off your brush, because it could harden on the brush. And, well, this is basically one time of a lot of paint hardening on it. I can't even bend it. So yes, you can see that on this model there's like little areas like that. I'm not going to be painting that specific yet. Now this is a great spot that'll look really good when it's ending his clothes. So you always want to take great care on the clothes. Make sure you don't shovel paint onto it. Color his clothes nicely. Now this is not his underpants. Oh. I didn't realize what I was going to say before I said it. This is not his undergarment, so that doesn't work. This is not his pants that we colored earlier. How's that? This is his, like, his dress. It looks like. Although he would claim, it's a cloak! A very nice cloak! Much better than you're even worth! No, he wouldn't say that. And this part is always a fun part if you like painting, because, well, you don't have to worry about tiny little details. You just go bam, and you just put the paint on, and you get to see the paint stretch out, and it's not usually very difficult, and it looks awesome at the end. Again, sorry if the video gets blurry, or is blurry. The video camera, there's nothing really wrong with the video camera. It's a good video camera. It's just we don't have video processing software on the computer I have to use because the other one broke. And the YouTube processor has to process it all by itself. Poor thing. And, well, usually the video will come out a little blurry. Pictures are fine because we have nice picture software. But, like, whenever we can't even play videos normally on the computer we use because it just comes out as audio. No picture at all. It just says there should be. It just shows a musical note and says audio. So in this, I'm going to, after I get all his clothes done, I'm going to color his belt a certain color. You don't have to if you don't want to. In fact, you can color him purple if you want to, and that's the color scheme you want. I am just using these colors to do it like this. How I want to do it. No criticizing me. You don't know me. You know my videos. Don't judge me. I like the color red. It's red-delicious. Oh gosh, please do not make that into a Vine, random people. It's red-delicious! I mean, one of my friends has a Vine, was like, I'm a pterodactyl. Yeah, or just like, hey, just this guy's looking at the color, and there's like a wall that's blue, and he's like, hey, look at that wall, and then a little girl comes up, and she's like, it's red-delicious, yeah! Yeah, please don't do that. And if someone does do that, it was my idea. Just continue to paint it. If you are not careful with your paintbrush, the bristles go out, the paintbrush is less effective, and your painting will decrease in quality because you won't be able to get it nice and fine. Now, will you? Okay, it looks like I'm running out of the color. I do not need to clean my paintbrush because this is a quick job. Just, if it's a long job, definitely clean the paintbrush. Just the right color. Yeah, it's the right color. It just looks strange. That little thing. There. Shut. Wash. Dry. I hope this video comes out nicely. And continue. Now, we are going to do his above shirt. You can see that I painted his belt. Oh, doesn't look like I got any. So you can see that I hope you can see that I painted his belt. This color. It's just easier to do it that way. We are definitely going to color his sleeves this way. But why are you wondering why I picked red? He has a scarf. And the arrow. But he has a scarf. Yeah. It's gonna be quiet right now because I've run out of things to say. Just continue to paint it. Am I still on? Oh, I moved off. Oh, I think. Now, the very front of his sleeves, I am contemplating what I should do with that, but to continue to color him, and color him, paint him. I can see right here that it wasn't primed. When you prime your model, actually, I know nothing about priming. All I know is I just walk up to my dad and I say, hey, can you prime this for me? And he goes, sure, I have this whole army to prime. And he goes, psh, and it's all good. Yeah, primer, if I haven't stated this before, helps the paint stick. And if your guy is not going to be, like, darkly colored, you want primer, because then your primer will, if you prime him white, the paint is going to be brighter overall than if you prime him black, which would be something like Warriors of Chaos. And since I'm not painting Warriors of Chaos, yeah. And if you're new to this whole Warhammer thing, and you do not know what I am talking about at all, yeah, you might want to go to the wiki page or something. I know some people go, Wikipedia isn't right, but the wiki page will tell you the names and give you a mostly correct basic overview. The wiki page is awesome. I found out for my report. Yeah, I went to it for my school report in American Studies, and it was on George Washington. I don't know why they did a report on a rooster. Yeah, there's actually a rooster named George Washington. This part will be difficult because he has his arm across it. So just change the angle if you want. It doesn't matter if you get paint on your fingers, if you're using the right paint. It is absolutely non-toxic unless you ingest it. It's non-toxic to your fingers. And it will come off eventually. So make sure that when you're painting, you do not wear your favorite shirt. That is just common sense. If you don't wear your favorite shirt when you're painting, it won't get painted. Yeah. Now this may look kind of drab and dull, but we'll make up for it with the color red. So I've decided that on that little arm piece I'm going to paint it normally. Now, if someone was painting this to win the Golden Demon, which is the award for what people basically paint, a diorama that takes like years. It is crazy. Or a model that takes years. It is crazy. I mean, like, a day. Oh, it's just, like, so many different layers, and usually they look really nice. I don't know, sometimes I just don't like their color schemes. But it takes so long to color them, and it looks absolutely amazing. It's just, yeah, my goal is to help people strive for that. But do not set that as a base minimum for you or self, because there's absolutely no way that when you're starting out, you will be able to paint that well, and because no one can paint that well starting out. Do you know how long it takes people to get like that? Usually years and years and years and years, and wow, this is a tough spot. Toughie. It's okay if you get little pieces of paint on places that you've already painted. It's not that hard to fix. You just get the previous color and just go whoop, it's all done. Now, after you do this, check to make sure that you didn't paint over anything extremely important. And, you know, get those little spots that you weren't able to get before, or just missed. I have some right here. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. So, clean your brush. Now we're going to paint his extravagant, yep, we're using red. I was going to say hat before, but then I'm like, you know what? Red. If I can find my, yep, here it is. Open it up.
Bye, Andrew.
Where are you going?
Play.
Oh, my dad's going off to play Warhammer. He's been playing it for a while, and he has quite the collection. And by the way, if you want to see me play some Warhammer, just leave a the way to enter yourself to see me play Warhammer is to leave a like, even though I have no way of checking it. Leave a like and just comment on what you'd like to see in the point value. If you're seeing this late into the future, what I'm about to say won't matter. If you're seeing this the day I put out, this will matter. I am planning on putting out a video and we've been planning it for all for like half an hour. And I'm not gonna say much, but it is big. And involves my new ability to post videos that are over 15 minutes long. Yeah, did you know that you have to have a phone to prove you're not a robot to Google? Yeah. Because they have to call you or text you. Those are the only two options. It's like, what about email or well, actually there is no other really way I can think of that would work. What about email? Robots like emails. What about... I can't think of anything else. Okay, so he has this extravagant epaulet. That's not an epaulet. And I'm just gonna color it red. Protest. Fight the power. Yeah. In fact, an even greater protest. Paint him pink. Yeah. Fight the power. The power that is peer pressure to paint him normal. Boo-ha-ha, boo-ha-ha, boo-ha, boo-ha-ha, boo-ha-ha. Okay, so. Sorry if this ever gets boring and you're like, just tell me what to do! I want to know what to do! Well, I want to show you how to do it at the same time. You can see I got a little paint over. It's okay, you just wait for it to dry. And if you put on a thin enough layer, it doesn't take long. My dad's always saying, oh, you have to wait quite a while for it to completely dry, but I don't put on thick layers. I'm going to need to just get a little more of this and paint over the areas that I made an oopsie on. So do 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 do. I hope my voice isn't the only thing that's guiding you, and I hope I don't sound too weird. I got over a cold, so my voice should sound better, but it's always sounded so weird on cameras. I mean, my brothers, they're like, my voice sounds weird too, but they sound completely normal, and I always just sound weird. Of course, I could just sound completely normal, and I'm just used to my strange voice. Did I just say that out loud? Okay, so the next thing you'll want to do is, I put way too much there. I am going to go to this wonderful Kemery Brown for his wonderful hat. Where's my... Come here, boy. La 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 la. If this is difficult for you, do not worry. Keep striving and you will achieve your goals of painting nicely. And am I still on the screen? Let me check. Yep. Okay, so. Sorry if the lighting is weird too. It's not weird for me right now. Because, I think the camera will just pick it up weird. No, he's going to have a very drab hat, but of course he's a peasant with a bow. He's not going to have an extravagant, awesome hat like my mustache. Yes. Yes, ladies, I am single and I have a mustache. It's an invisible mustache. But it's there. It's not really. Shut up, Pete. Sorry if this video gets weird at any point. Sorry. Sometimes I move when I'm painting. Okay. You can see his wonderful hat has been painted. And now for the last two parts that need to be painted. We're going back to the wonderful Rhinox hide. I'm sorry I didn't say this before. And your paint is all dried up and now you're like, lizard lover, how could you? You made me have my paint dry up. No, get over it. Of course, if you had to spend $50 and it's all dried up, then why did you put that much out? We just need a little dab. Ooh, his hat is still drying, so I will color the scabbard. That's right. We are finally getting to the main part of the scabbard, which will be painted rhinoxide. Now, there are little studs that I am not going to paint right now. Get over it, people who like painting studs. You should paint more wonderful things, like the soles of the boots of people standing up. Or epaulets. Epaulets are always fun. Or self-destruct buttons that are on the bottom of feet. Those are always nice. So that on walking robots. Yes, school my robot on me. Take over the tri-state area. I'm sorry if I was off again. So yeah, see you next episode. Hello guys and welcome back. We are continuing to paint, oh gosh, already to paint this guy. And remember, scabbard is being painted this color. Did I fool you? I didn't really go off. Ha 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 ha, this is still one video. I didn't actually stop the video, I just tried to, yeah, you want to paint the scabbard a nice, wonderful orange. I'm actually painting it rhinoxide. Okay, and now that the hat should be pretty dry by now, it won't mix, paint his hair. This wonderful rhinoxide, because he has hair made out of the hides of the poor rhinoxes, the endangered species that is always ticked off. Yeah, rhinoxes aren't endangered. I'm sorry. Ogres may use them, but they're not endangered. And now just look at his wonderfulness. Yep, that's right. We're all done. He's just, look at his lusciousness. He looks awesome. We're not actually done. I haven't put on the shade. I would have liked using an ink wash, but the brown ink is missing. Yep, missing. So I have to use an ink wash. Now, check over your model. Make sure it is not too messed up. There's little places here and there on my model, but I am not going to fix those at the moment, because I don't feel like it, and, well, yeah. So, we just have to wait for it to get sufficiently dry. If my dad were here, he'd say, oh, wait a couple hours, and then come back, and then it'll be all good, and I'm like, I don't have that kind of time. I'm gonna paint it right now. Yeah, the first time I used a wash over fresh paint, didn't work. Very bad. Anyway, how was your day? Was it nice? You might want to skip a little ahead. Yeah, I'm going to now use my clean paintbrush and put the oil. You have the gnome oil on. You open it up. You do not have to mix up this because it is a wet thing. Now, what you have to do is just dip your paintbrush in. Dip your paintbrush in. I failed the first time. And then just put it over. I knew it! Okay, so it looks like this is not the most ideal thing, but it will work. And you just go, and this you just like it extreme, not too extreme, but high amounts. You don't have to do any of the other painting rules I previously said. You just paint it over. This will look a lot better if I had the correct thing that I had wanted, which was something else. Oh, looks like I didn't paint the belt. You can paint the belt if you want. I'm not going to now. It's a little late because I've already gnome-oiled it. Yeah, this would look different because if you use an ink, I recommend brown ink or something. It changes the overall color so that it looks nicer. This is just a shader. Yeah. Wish I had gone more in depth to find that. Make sure you get all places. Now, in little places, don't let too much of it build up, because then it will eat your face and then laugh. You just make sure you paint all areas. All areas, Joe. And then, yep, even the arrow tip. And you just keep painting all areas. Keep doing it. Don't stop. Don't stop for no one. And this is an important part to get like facial expressions. You really want to paint places like his face nicely with this, because it'll get in the little cracks. Which is why you weren't allowed to put too much paint on, because then the shape would be gone, and this is why you would get in the cracks. And well, once it's in the cracks, it settles there, and gets color there, so you don't have to paint the cracks. See the genius in this design? And if you don't have to paint the cracks, it makes it nicer. Now, yeah. So, our model will need to dry and still have more to paint. This would look so much better if I had found that darn ink. So I recommend using an ink. With an ink, it has to be 100% dry. You can't even have it a little bit wet, okay? That's very important. So yeah, here is our finished model. It's kind of bland, but then again, peasants are bland. Back in the days where this is based. So hope you can see it. That is our finished model. Let me see. Yep. We'll take a picture of it probably and post it on. And I hope you learned a lot from this video. See you again later.